Hi guys, welcome back. So I want to talk to you about scraps because we all have a plethora of scraps when we finish projects, and I know some of you probably don't like to save them, don't want to save them, don't know what to do with them. And so I have several things that I want to share with you that I do with all of my scraps. Now these are mostly strips, as you can tell, and they are different sizes, different widths, different lengths. Some of them I was gonna make ruffles with, so they're creased. Some are coffee dyed, tea dyed, vintage, yellowed pages, just plain old printer paper and colored varieties, scrapbooking, cardstock, and we invest a lot of money in our digital prints and our paper pads when we buy them. And so for me, I have a really hard time just throwing away something that I know I can get some use out of. We're going to talk about, and I'm going to show you what I do with my scraps. Now, like I said, these are all my strips. I have a small box. Let me show you that. I'll trade them out, or I'll just put it in here. This is a small box, and this is basically my scrap box. And if it doesn't fit in here, or when this gets to overflowing, I know it's time to do something with them so that it's just not sitting there gathering dust and going to waste. And same thing with this. Once it reaches a certain point, I'm like, okay, it's time to do some scrap projects. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay, so I pushed my sleeves up and I'm ready to go. So I showed you my big box of strips. What I've done is taken some and just ripped them in little pieces, into smaller pieces, obviously, because they, you know, started out like this. And I just laid them out here. And what we're going to make are some strips like this. And I just used a piece of cardstock that was left over and just put little bits and pieces on. And it's so easy. I know it seems tedious because these pieces are small, but I promise it goes quick and it's not difficult. So I take a strip here, and to start, I just run my glue stick up this a couple times, make sure there's glue there. And then I just start putting pieces to fill in. And there's like no rhyme or reason to this. It's just fill in the space. I promise, like, how easy is this, right? Now we've got a good base. And then I take my glue stick again and just run it down carefully because it's not all stuck all the way, right? And then I just start putting other pieces. So let's, oh, what do we want to do? Let's put a few pink pieces down. Again, no rhyme or reason. It's just getting some color on here. Let's move this one so they're not right next to each other. Let's put a polka dot in here. Okay, now let's add some other color. Let's add a little more glue just to those spots. Let's put some of this. This is from a very vintage postage stamp book. And let's put down some little bits of music paper. Oh, that one isn't very interesting. Need some glue. And as you can see, you can just keep going, or you can stop when you kind of like the look of it. I have a tendency to go overboard sometimes and just keep going because I like lots of layers and lots of interest. So let's add a few of these little pieces. They are actual pictures of stamps from that vintage book, stamp book. And it's got a different texture, different color, so it's going to add some interest to it. And where's my French paper? I have some French. I think I need to rip some more. Well, let's just sort of call that good, shall we? Do we want to add a little bit more green? Maybe one or two little pieces. I mean, some of these pieces are obviously tiny, and normally you would think to throw them away because they're not going to be of much use, right? See, look at that. How fun is that? I kind of want to add another little piece of book music paper. Come on. Just to dull down that bright green. I love the color, but I want to soften it just a bit. See how easy that is? Okay, I'm going to call that one good. So that is one idea, and see how fast you can make them. And I don't really plan it or think about it. It's just, it comes out what it is. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll come back and show you what I've made. Okay, so we're back, and I have made a plethora of these strips that I was showing you earlier. And they are just so fun. You can use them as belly bands. You could cut a piece off and use it as a tab. Cut a piece off and use it as a background for a little piece of ephemera. There's just a lot of uses. Bag toppers, whatever you want. And then I stitched down the center of all of them. So there are some that have pink and green, a couple blue, and then a whole bunch of these that are almost all vintage pages, postage stamp book, just foreign language books that are pretty vintage. So I have a lot of these as well. So I'm stocked up. I'm going to put some of these in my Etsy shop because there's a lot of them. And I will use them, but I won't use them as fast as I make them, and maybe some of you would like some of them. So that is one project. The other project that I did with my strips is I made some layered pieces, and these I just took 3 different pieces or 3 different strips that were different widths and just put them on top of each other and stitched down the center. Again, there are some that are a little bit shorter, but most of them are like 12 inches. And they're just so fun. They just are great. Again, you can use them as tabs, belly bands, whatever. These have vintage music pages on the backs of them. And then I have a bunch that are just with newer, you know, they're not yellow, they're white. And they're just fun spring, summer colors. They remind me of watermelon and peaches. And so again, I'm going to put these in my Etsy shop as well. I think I have like 200 of them. So I really made a dent in my bin, my strip bin. It's pretty much empty now because I did so much with them. But here are just 2 really great ideas to use your scraps so that they don't go to waste. And I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up, comment, and I will be back with another video, another scrap idea video using smaller pieces, squares, rectangles, and that will be up soon as well. So until then, I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.